20 micro habits that will change your life, backed by science. Most people believe that changing their life requires making massive changes. A brand new morning routine, a strict workout plan, a complete diet overhaul, reading 50 books a year, working 10 hours every day. The problem is, big changes often create big resistance. They feel exciting at first, but they rarely last. That's why so many people start strong, only to quit a few weeks later. Real transformation usually doesn't begin with dramatic actions. It begins with actions so small that they almost seem too easy to matter. Scientists have spent decades studying how habits are formed, and one surprising discovery keeps appearing again and again. Tiny behaviors repeated consistently often produce greater long-term results than occasional bursts of extreme effort. Because your brain doesn't only remember what you achieve, it remembers what you repeatedly do. Every small action quietly teaches your brain who you are becoming. That's why today's video isn't about impossible routines. It's about 20 simple micro habits that almost anyone can begin today. Most of them take less than 5 minutes. Some take less than 1 minute. Yet together, they can gradually reshape your focus, your discipline, your health, and even your identity. The first micro habit is making your bed immediately after waking up. It seems almost insignificant, but it creates something incredibly important, a completed task. Before your day has truly begun, you've already kept one promise to yourself. That small victory creates momentum. Momentum makes the next productive decision slightly easier. The second habit is drinking a glass of water before checking your phone. After hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated. Water helps your body wake up. And delaying your phone by just a few minutes prevents your attention from being immediately hijacked by notifications and endless information. The third habit is stepping outside for just 2 minutes every morning. Natural sunlight helps regulate your body's internal clock. It signals your brain that the day has begun. Many researchers have linked morning light exposure with improved sleep quality, mood, and alertness later in the day. The fourth habit is taking one deep breath before responding to stressful situations. Most people react automatically. Micro habits create a pause. That single breath gives your brain enough time to respond intentionally instead of emotionally. Sometimes, one breath prevents one argument, one bad decision, or one unnecessary regret. The fifth habit is writing down just one priority every morning. Not 10, not 20. 1. When everything feels important, nothing truly is. One clear priority creates clarity. Clarity reduces procrastination. The sixth habit is reading one page of a book. Only one. Interestingly, once you begin, you'll often continue reading much longer. Starting is usually the hardest part. Small beginnings remove resistance. The seventh habit is standing up and stretching every hour. Long periods of sitting reduce energy, increase stiffness, and decrease concentration. 1 minute of movement refreshes both your body and your attention. The eighth habit is placing your phone out of reach while working. Not turning it face down, not putting it in your pocket, actually moving it away. Out of sight often becomes out of mind. Your brain spends less energy resisting temptation when temptation isn't nearby. The ninth habit is asking yourself one question before making a purchase. Do I really need this? That single pause prevents countless impulsive decisions over time. Small financial habits quietly become financial freedom. The 10th habit is saying one genuine thank you every day. Gratitude changes more than relationships. It changes attention. Your brain gradually becomes better at noticing what is already good instead of constantly searching for what's missing. The 11th habit is taking a short walk after meals. Even 5 or 10 minutes can support digestion and help regulate blood sugar. Small movement after eating often produces surprisingly meaningful health benefits over time. The 12th habit is spending 5 minutes cleaning your environment before sleeping. A cleaner space reduces visual stress. Tomorrow's productivity often begins with tonight's preparation. The 13th habit is smiling before entering a conversation. Not because everything is perfect, but because your body and emotions constantly influence each other. A simple smile often changes the tone of an entire interaction. The 14th habit is replacing one negative thought with one useful question. Instead of asking, "Why am I failing?" Ask, what can I learn from this? Questions direct attention. Better questions often produce better lives. The 15th habit is saving a small amount of money every week, not because the amount is large, but because the identity is. You're becoming someone who thinks about the future. The 16th habit is writing one sentence in a journal every evening. You don't need pages. One sentence is enough. Reflection creates awareness. Awareness creates improvement. The 17th habit is learning one new thing every day. One word, one fact, one idea. Learning compounds. Tiny pieces of knowledge eventually become wisdom. The 18th habit is spending 1 minute in complete silence. No phone, no music, no conversation, just silence. Modern life rarely gives your brain opportunities to simply think. Silence restores clarity. The 19th habit is preparing tomorrow before today ends. Lay out your clothes. Prepare your workspace. Write tomorrow's priority. Remove tomorrow's excuses tonight. And finally, the 20th habit is celebrating small wins. Most people wait until achieving enormous goals before feeling proud. But progress deserves recognition long before perfection arrives. Every completed workout, every finished page, every healthy meal, every promise kept. They're all evidence that you're becoming someone new. There's something fascinating about micro habits. Individually, they don't seem life-changing. Making your bed won't make you successful tomorrow. Drinking water won't transform your future overnight. Reading one page won't suddenly make you brilliant. But habits rarely work individually. They work together. One healthy choice increases the likelihood of another. One productive action creates momentum for the next. Eventually, small wins begin stacking on top of one another. This is known as the compound effect. Tiny improvements multiply. 1% better today, 1% better tomorrow, repeated over hundreds of days. Those tiny improvements become extraordinary. Many people underestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year because they overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 day. Consistency almost always defeats intensity. Remember, your brain doesn't require perfection. It requires repetition. Missing 1 day isn't what changes your life. Stopping completely is. Successful people aren't successful because they never fail. They're successful because they return. Again, and again, and again. Imagine planting 20 tiny seeds. None of them become a forest overnight. But if you continue watering them, protecting them, giving them sunlight, eventually, you don't simply have 20 plants. You have an entirely different landscape. Your habits work exactly the same way. Every tiny action becomes another root beneath the surface. Invisible, quiet, almost impossible to notice. Until one day, people notice how disciplined you've become, how calm you are, how focused, how healthy, how confident. They'll assume something dramatic happened. They'll search for one secret, one breakthrough, one defining moment. But you'll know the truth. There was never one dramatic moment. There were hundreds of ordinary moments. Moments when you made your bed, drank water, read one page, took one walk, saved $1, wrote one sentence, paused before reacting, chose growth instead of comfort. Those tiny moments slowly became your identity. And identity always shapes your future. So don't ask yourself, how can I completely change my life today? Ask something much smaller. What is one tiny habit I can repeat tomorrow? Then repeat it again and again. Because extraordinary lives are rarely built through extraordinary actions. They're built through ordinary actions, repeated consistently, long enough to become extraordinary.